Walk in WOLLERT. My name is Robert Ozzimo. I proudly represent the company of Harcourts, Rata and Conan. Joined here today by some of the best in the business, the team in blue. Should you require their advice, please feel free to approach either Alex or, of course, Michael or Emilia, who you've had the great pleasure of meeting throughout the marketing campaign. Buyers, let me share with you the following announcements, which are in place to help you bid and buy with confidence here today. The auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules, and any additional conditions that remain available for inspection before the start of the auction. The auction rules prohibit an auctioneer from accepting bids or offers for a property after the property has been knocked down to the successful bidder. The vendors have a reserve price as the auctioneer. I'll indicate bidders on request. The law prohibits false bids, prohibits major disruptions by bidders, and prohibits bidders attempting to prevent others from bidding, and provides for fines for such conduct. The rules permit for vendor bids. The words I'll use during the auction to indicate that I'm making a bid in behalf of the vendor are vendor bid, and by law only I, as the auctioneer, can make a vendor bid. The contract of sale has been on display prior to today's auction. We call for 10% deposit upon the fall of the hammer and the signing of that contract to take place here today, with the balance to be paid at settlement in a flexible 30 to 90 days time, at which time the vendor will provide the lucky buyer with vacant possession of the property. All in all, quite a straightforward contract. Everything's in there, everything's quite clear. So buyers, is with my highest recommendation what we offer for your competition and consideration here today. Now I know that we've kept you waiting, so I don't propose to go on and on, but what a spectacular location we find ourselves here today in WOLLERT, park fronted. One of the greatest parks in WOLLERT, and you don't even have to look after yourself. It's all done for you, for your enjoyment, right on your doorstep. A free-flowing floor plan here on the corner. A great opportunity for any first home buyer, a great opportunity for an investor, a great opportunity for you and your family to bid, buy, get the salt sticker on the board. If that's your goal, now's the opportunity to reserve that right, buyers. Where can I see a fair and reasonable starting bid for Tuin Walk? Who'd like to start us off? I don't mind the call, buyer. Start me where you like. At 500,000 now, we're up and running now. 500 the bid. At 500,000, welcome, best of luck here today at 50 now. At 550,000. At 550,000, can I say 75, ma'am? At 60, I'll take the 10 at 60 now, the same courtesy. At 560,000. At 570,000 now, 570 the bid. At 80, straight back at you, sir. 580,000. At 90 now. At 590,000, got to be 600. 600,000 even money, and that puts us on the market and we sell here today. The bid's there, the keys are there. We're selling. At 600,000 at 605 now, welcome. At 605, at 605,000, you had the keys for a moment there, ma'am. You can win them back at 605,000, but they're there as it stands. At 605 the bid, we are on the market. We sell here today. If you've come to buy, you must bid me now at 10 now, or forever hold your peace at 610 the bid. At 610,000, one bid not enough for you here today. 610 and the bid's there, the keys are there. We sell at 610. 11. At 11 now, at 611. At 15, at 615,000 and 20, and welcome back at 20, coming back with style. At 620,000, at 620,000, the bid's back here at 620, the keys are there, opportunity still with you. At 30 now, a great bid at 630,000. At 35, at 635 the bid. At 635,000, bid back there, keys back there, opportunity game with you at 35 now. At 635,000 the bid, and 40 got. At 640,000. At 640 we sell here today, 45. At 645 and 50. At 650,000. At 51, shorten your stride to 5-1 now. At 651 and the bid's back there at 651, 1,000, an easy bid to beat. At 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're breaking my momentum, sir. 657 the bid. At 657,000 the bid's there. Can I say 60 in the rise? At 657 the bid, at 60 now, 660,000. At 61. At 661 the bid's there. Keys are there. Has she done enough? Are you absolutely sure? At 661,000. So we're done over there. Thank you very much for your bid here today. Are we done here? Thank you very much for your participation. At 660, at 662 now, welcome and best of luck at 662. Now you work so hard to put yourself in that position. We have to test their resolve, surely. At 3 now. At 663,000, bid back here, keys back here. They were with you for a moment, sir. At 663,000. At 5 now, 665. 6 at 666,000, triple sixes at 666 once. Are we all done? Second call at 666, done and finished. 67. At 7 now, 667,000. At 70 now, and a great bid at that at $670,000 the bid. At 670,000, bid back there. Has she done enough now? At 670,000, fairly bid offered for the first call at 670, all done. At 71, at 671,000, welcome, better late than never. At 671 and 2, at 672 the bid. At 673, at 673 now, 4, 674 against short 5 now at 675. At 676,000. At 76 now, 676 and 77 at 677 at 677 now.
You take 500.
Oh, for you I will at 677 and a half. At 677 and a half now. Perhaps round me off to 80, sir.
678.
At 678 now. At 678, those $5,000 bids make it. At 678 and a half, at 678 and a half now. $5,000 bids make it easy for the competition to come along. Big bids buy property. They close the competition out.
9.
At 679, 80 surely, ma'am. At 80 now. At 680,000, might have done the trick at 680 the bid now. At 680,000 bids there, keys are there. We're on the market, we sell at 680 the bid and a half at 680 and a half. You had him on the ropes at 1 now, 681. At 681, at 681 the bid. At 681,000, fairly been offered now for the first call at 681, all done. Second call at 681 the bid, done and finished. Third, final call, 681,000, all done, all finished, all silent out at 681. We're definitely done here. We're done over there. We're done here. So if you tell me you're out, we'll sell at 681, in or out. Definitely done. Thank you very much for your bidding here today. At 681,000, we are selling, selling, selling. So, congratulations and well bid. Please join me in congratulating our purchasers and our vendors here today. You've just witnessed another successful Harcourts, Rata and Co auction. Enjoy this wonderful sunshine. Have a great weekend. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.
You're done.
Sorry.
You've got it.
Congratulations. Well done. Congratulations. Well bid.
Sally, this is Rob from
Hello.
Auctioneer.
Hello.
Hi, how are you, Sally? Nice to meet you, Rob.
I'm helping her out.
Beautiful.